Cuba's economy, already fragile, facing a new threat. President Trump posting Sunday morning, there will be no more oil or money going to Cuba from Venezuela, and telling the press a deal with the island is imminent.
We're talking to Cuba, and you'll find out pretty soon.
Experts say the island depends on Venezuela for between a quarter and half of its daily energy needs, which means Nicolas Maduro's capture by the United States could push the communist-ruled island to the brink. Over the last 6 years, shortages of food, power and basic supplies have once again become everyday realities in Cuba. This 19-year-old university student tells us she's scared for her future. She worries that if the US can seize one Latin American leader, they can take any.
The blocking of Venezuelan oil shipments, which we're already seeing from the US naval blockade, that could tip Cuba over the edge into an economic crisis, the likes of which we haven't seen since at least the early 1990s.
The Trump administration signaling that by cutting off subsidized oil deliveries from Venezuela, it can bring the Cuban government to its knees.
Yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned.
Cuba's president, Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermudez, responding on Sunday, saying in part, "No one dictates what we do," and that the country is, quote, "ready to defend the homeland to the last drop of blood." But softening his tone Monday morning, saying, "We have always been willing to engage in a serious and responsible dialogue." US sanctions on Cuba, which have been in place for decades, have never been fiercer, and economic pain is now set to increase. But on this nationalist, authoritarian island, there's barely any organized opposition, and regime change advocates in Miami have never been able to explain just how a political transition could take place. American involvement in Cuba hasn't always gone as planned. In 1961, John F. Kennedy approved the Bay of Pigs invasion, aimed at toppling Fidel Castro. It failed. More than 100 members of an American-backed brigade were killed. 6 fighter planes were shot down by Cuban forces. It solidified Castro's grip over the island nation. Political dissent over the decades crushed. Some worry that in the long term, the Trump administration's strategy could undercut US national interest.
If you push the country to the brink of economic crisis and beyond, are you creating a failed state 90 miles from US shores?
On the streets here, some pushback on any US intervention, but also indignation and concerns of political escalation. This 63-year-old resident saying, "We have to stand strong. I'm already an older person, but if they give me a rifle, I'll go fight." Another man saying he's scared for his 18-year-old brother, currently in military service. Cuba has been sanctioned for longer than any other country on Earth. But in Mexico, it has an important ally. Still, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum facing pressure from the Trump administration to stop oil shipments to Cuba. Sheinbaum describes them as humanitarian aid.
I would expect to see the Trump administration lean hard on Mexico to further decrease them or stop them completely.
Tonight in Cuba, many fear what comes next. Pawns in a geopolitical game. People know that even harder times may be ahead.
Ed is joining us now from Havana. Ed, we're glad to have you there on the ground. You talked about some of the resources Mexico sends to Cuba. We know the Mexican leader spoke with President Trump today, but it sounds like Cuba did not come up in that discussion.
Yeah, that hasn't been confirmed, but I think many eyes are turning to Mexico as part of this geopolitical game now, because for the first time ever, last year, Mexico emerged as the main country sending oil to Cuba. Not Venezuela, but Mexico. President Sheinbaum has long characterized these deliveries as humanitarian aid and emphasizes the historical relation between Mexico and Cuba. Mexico is the only country in Latin America not to cut diplomatic ties with Cuba after the 1959 revolution. Interestingly, Energy Secretary Chris Wright has said that it is not US policy to stop shipments of Mexican oil to Cuba. That contradicts a social media post by Donald Trump yesterday on Truth Social that zero oil would from now on be getting into Cuba. We do know that President Sheinbaum and Trump spoke earlier this morning. It's not been confirmed whether the issue of Cuba came up.
Okay. Ed Augustin, we're glad to have you there live for us in Havana. Ed, thank you very much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.